Dan Gripper, host of the Pod Save the King podcast, spoke to the Daily Mirror's editor Alison Phillips, who was among the guests at the coronation ceremony on Saturday. Noting the solemnity of the service, Ms. Phillips said King Charles III looked serious throughout, but added the monarch appeared terror-struck when he was processing into Westminster Abbey. "I felt he looked really quite frail, which is not something I'd ever regarded him before," she said. "I think it was the robes and the weight of the robes. But then maybe that is part of the point, that he is a man who is bearing this great weight of what he's about to do. He definitely looked very small inside those cloaks." Ms. Phillips added, "It did feel a huge weight and he seems very small inside it, but I think it probably is a huge weight and the crown is obviously incredibly heavy, in all senses of that word." While the coronation is an occasion associated with pomp and pageantry, it is also an incredibly solemn religious ceremony. Of all the European monarchies, the House of Windsor is the only one that still has a religious coronation ceremony. It not only marks the official crowning of the new monarch but also signifies the end of an extended mourning period for their predecessor. In this case, King Charles's coronation came almost 8 months after the death of his mother Queen Elizabeth II. The 2-hour service was full of symbolism, with its rituals dating back centuries. Sitting on the historic coronation chair, Charles was anointed by the Archbishop of Canterbury with holy oil consecrated in Jerusalem, marking the center point of the ceremony and symbolizing the conferment of God's grace on the sovereign. Don't miss. Harry handled coronation right as Prince praised for low-key visit. Latest poll, should King Charles be allowed to speak out on political issues? Poll, Charles' modern monarchy begins as royals adopt new social media strategy. Insight, lip readers spot brutal remark King Charles said to Camilla while in gold carriage. A clip of the monarch and Queen Camilla in their coach waiting to enter Westminster Abbey was shared online. Now, 2 lip readers have said that the king was venting frustrations about a delay. "The anointing is considered so sacred, it is done in private, away from the eyes of both the gathered congregation and the television audience. As Charles was anointed, he was hidden by specially made screens. And ultimately, he was crowned with the heavy St. Edward's crown, used in coronations of British monarchs for the last 350 years. He was then presented with the coronation regalia, which includes an ornate golden orb, scepters, swords and a ring, and forms part of the crown jewels and variously symbolizes the king's power, authority and duties, as well as the power of God. He was crowned with the heavy St. Edward's crown, used in coronations of British monarchs for the last 350 years. Emily Nash, Hello's royal editor, was also in the Abbey for the service. Reflecting on the king's subdued demeanor, she said, "To outsiders looking in, I guess they'd question, why doesn't he have a full wattage smile on his face as the crown comes down? This is his big moment. But it's a huge responsibility, not least just wearing all of that regalia. He is literally weighed down by this, as well as the responsibility." Amy Griffiths, host of the podcast, said, "It must be such complicated emotions, finally having your coronation that you've been preparing your whole life for, but it can't just be happiness and excitement. It's bittersweet." Aged 73 when he ascended the throne, Charles was the oldest person in history to become monarch. Having been heir apparent for 70 years and the Prince of Wales for 64, he had spent decades readying himself for his crowning moment. Following his coronation, he thanked all those who have helped to make this such a special occasion. In a statement, he said, "To know that we have your support and encouragement, and to witness your kindness expressed in so many different ways, has been the greatest possible coronation gift, as we now rededicate our lives to serving the people of the United Kingdom, the realms and Commonwealth."
Now take